So, I'm going to be talking about freedom of speech today and why that's so great that we have it as Americans. And just really diving deep into the subject matter as a whole, really. First of all, I want to stress this on my entire life. Just because you have freedom, I'm so sorry, I'm going to be playing with my hair a lot. Just because you have freedom of speech does not give you a right to be a jerk, like straight up. Before we even get into everything, I want to talk about where your freedom of speech can be limited. Violence. If your freedom of speech enacts violence, then not right. Yeah, it's just straight up not right. So if you go around cussing people out, then you might get punched, and that's your own fault. And straight up, guys, I'm not lying about this. This is actually like government stuff. They're not saying it the same way, but I'm just summing it up. Also, telling lies. If you're going around saying like, oh my gosh, Brianna stole that shirt, but yo, I paid for this with my good money and I can pull up the receipts, what you did is wrong, and also is defamation of character, so therefore, lawsuit. And just like to get this faster, students, friends, peers, co-workers, whatever, our freedom of speech is limited at school because one, that is not our property. Technically, especially if you're in public school, that is government property. I take that back. But no, wait, here's the thing. I don't know whether it's government property. But either way, our freedom of speech is limited because that's not our property. Also, when you're in someone else's home, your freedom of speech is limited. It was just straight up, don't disrespect someone in their home. It is what it is, you know? Also, obscenity. Anything to do with very vulgar topics and like sex. Ew. There's a time and a place, everyone. And for the most part, do not slaughter someone's name and tell lies. Do not have violent speech towards someone, such as threats. Students, just know that schools can make whatever rules they want, and yeah, we have to follow them. It sucks to suck, but that's just how it is. I really wanted to focus on the student aspect of this because, only know what I know from the life I'm living. I only know what it's like to be an American from so far as a student viewpoint. Haven't really gotten out into the world as my own, into like the workplace and all that stuff. Especially your jobs, guys. Freedom of speech. I worked with kids. You did not see me going around saying bad words. These are some of the words that I found were banned on a lot of school campuses, which is crazy, gay, fake news, lame, insane, and invalid. Those words are actually invalid on your local college campus. And a lot of politically sensitive words on campus is rich, poor, elders, exotic, and overweight. I truly don't get it. It's one of those things where, on one hand, it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. But on the other hand, I definitely see how your words matter. But some of these are just description words. But I think it's more so about how the media has taken the words and flipped them to seem like a bad thing. Like, if I say that someone is fat, then they might actually be fat, as in they're a bigger person. But the media has taken it to where fat seems like a negative thing. And in their eyes, it might, but in all genuality, it's not. You can be fat and beautiful, because you can also be skinny and ugly, Skinny doesn't equal pretty, and fat doesn't equal... That's a whole nother topic, but we'll... These are some cool cases that I thought was amazing. Like Tinker versus Des Moines. She basically wanted to wear patches or like whatever clothing she wanted. And they were just like, no. And so they took it to the school board and, bam, they fought it out and my girl won. They're like, yo, it's clothing. It's her right to express herself. Schools are actually such a weird topic when it comes to First Amendment. Some things are allowed, some things aren't allowed because it's not your property, and the people that are voting it are on the school board, but it's also not their property. But those are elected officials to get on the school board. It's just a lot. Hazelwood School District versus Kilmer. Yeah, they thought about, what can they publish in the school paper. And they ended up deciding, like, yo, you can't publish some of that stuff because the school paper, like, that's a representation of the school, essentially. Like, that will stay in the books for quite a long time. You never know what you do can make history, so always be careful with what you say and what you type. Also, island trees versus Pico. I found so interesting because I love books. Yeah, they try to censor our books and straight up 451 Fahrenheit. And also, history repeats itself. I don't even remember what exactly happened, but I don't know, but basically they burned books because they wanted to limit people's knowledge. And they tried to restrict books. And the school district wasn't having it. They're like, look, you cannot restrict books. That's just stupid. Because these books were in their library. That's the thing. That's why the issue is quite big. They're like, you can't restrict a book that's already in your library. But at the same time, we're like, if you want to restrict a book, why is it in your library? Like, just get it out the library. So, yeah, that's my little rant about the First Amendment. But the reason why the First Amendment is so great is because it allows us to have discussions. And the only way that the First Amendment can actually be useful is if you're open to hearing other people's views and just listening to people. So yes, the First Amendment is about being loud and letting your voice be heard, but also listen to other people so we can make resolutions and so that we can do amazing things. Many people, especially in these court cases, kids our age have been fighting for their freedom of speech. And I find a lot that we're restricting ourselves with freedom of speech, us Americans, because we always want to be like, this is the right way, this is the right way. But really, you can feel a little bit of both ways. It's the automatic thing to shut you down. It's like, oh, you don't feel the way I do? You don't agree with the majority? We're gonna shut you down. Like, either you turn with us or we turn against you. And that's genuinely how it is nowadays. So I hope that's something that we can change. But in many countries, people don't have freedom of speech. So we are quite lucky to have our freedom of speech and to be able to share our thoughts and opinions and to speak up and get things changed. I know a lot of this was repetitive, but I hope I got the point across to you. And to close it out, I would like to share another student. We're like on a high school theme, you know? Oh my God, I totally forgot her name. Her name will pop up on the screen. This interview is taking place 2012. She is younger than us, you guys, okay? And she's already making change, doing the research about her history. So you know. Also, know your rights. When you know your rights, that helps the world. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this interview. To close it out, she really inspires me to dig into my history. Hey guys, so the audio didn't play. So sorry for the moment of silence here, but yeah. Talia Moore, very bright young lady at the time of this event, 2012. Thank you, C-SPAN, for the content. And to close it out, we're just going to have a nice moment of silence. And if you really want to know what she's saying, you can read the caption, of course. Super sorry. Or you can ask me for the video. So sorry, the audio did not play. I was turning up the audio. I was trying so hard. You can see me. Oh my gosh. The audio didn't come through. So sorry, you guys. Love you. Bye. Enjoy the moment of silence. Also, thank you to myself for, this is the credit to you guys. Thank you for myself to writing, editing, and all that stuff. And yada, 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 yeah.